Welcome to the Best Shorts category of the R Anime Awards, short film and short series. These categories celebrate the very best of short form anime, which often packs a punch despite its brief runtime. From heartwarming slice of life stories to action packed adventures, short anime series and films have become increasingly popular among anime fans in recent years. So, whether you're a seasoned anime fan or new to the medium, the Best Short category is sure to offer up a diverse range of options that will leave you wanting more. Here are your nominees for Best Short Film of 2022.
あなたを放り出すなんてできないよそうだ鮮やかな痛みへと飛んだ幻想未来なんて手放していいよ階段の上で朝笑っていよ僕らの人 People up, speak up. People up, sit up. People up, sync up. People up, take off. そうしたらいつの日にか何もかも笑えるさ。
And the jury winner for short film is Dark Room. And the public winner is Let You Down.
Joining me to talk about short films and short series a little bit later are the Cynic Clinic,
Hello.
otherwise known as Jaden, and Gil.
Hello.
Gil and Jaden are both content creators and people I'm very fond of. I haven't had the chance to talk to you guys in a while, so hi.
Hey, how's it going?
I don't. I think you may have joined a few VCs I was in before. Mostly talked to you in text before, yeah.
Yeah, same here.
And also joining us are the jurors for each short category, Ananis
Hello, it's me.
and Mojave Held.
Hello.
Hello. Mojave, I don't know why, but everyone gets your name wrong, and your name is literally the name of like a desert. So I don't know. It's a real name.
It's a desert I live in.
Yeah. You live in the Mojave Desert?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Mojave, you have
Why?
you have a resident.
Wasn't my choice.
Yeah. Well, my name comes from the fact that I grew up in the Mojave Desert. So.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Brethren, Kyodai.
Almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter, huh?
Yeah, it looks like you. Yeah.
Instead of the Fallout references, let's talk about short films. And you
Okay.
know, in the kind of preceding chat we were having, you guys were talking about how you really love shorts, and you know you. That's why we're glad to have you on for this category. What is it about shorts that you like? What draws you into them?
Well, they're short, which is undeniably a big one. As my attention span gets lower and lower, you know. Well, there's something nice about being able to like complete something in under 20 minutes. Like a beginning, middle, end, in that short amount of time. Also, shorts tend to be far more, just by nature, experimental. Idea in regards to story, animation, sound design, whatever it might be. There are ideas that either couldn't sustain itself for a full series, like the kind of gimmick would wear off, if it was that long, or it just wouldn't get made because it's too unappealing for like a widespread like merchandise driven show, right? So I think there's a few things involved with it. You get to see a lot of individuality, a lot of expression of the teams tend to be a lot smaller too. Like sometimes just one person doing the whole thing. So like it's more of like the imprint of the creator is much more visible than like say a longer form project.
I mean, limitation also helps creativity, right?
Yeah.
And limitation being here is, well, it's so short, right? So I mean, like for a series, you have to do only a few minutes per episode, and for a short film, that's entire narrative in that one segment.
Yep.
So yeah, it helps the experimentation.
Now, which one of you jurors is the short film juror? Ananis or Mojave?
Yes.
It's the same jury, so you're both the short film
Well,
jurors.
no, I thought the funny bit would be I would say it's him and he's me, but I had no idea how to coordinate that on the fly.
It's okay.
Uh,
Anyway,
It's him anyway. Yeah, no, we are both short film and jury. We are it's two cats in one. Double the work and half the recognition.
There you go.
I was gonna make some kind of weird pun with the street
Two
light
birds
and a
with
cat.
2 stones.
Two birds with 4 stones.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it sure feels like we're the birds.
Yeah.
Tonikaku. Can you explain to us exactly how discussion in the short film jury went? Were all these kind of in the contention, or are all these relatively close, or was there a front runner straight out from the onset?
Oh, there was definitely no front runner per se, because in this cat, the amount of nominees you begin with is astronomical compared to everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of everybody's favorites, their individual favorites, don't necessarily wind up becoming finalists. A lot of what became the finalists, everybody might have had a couple things they really liked in there, but a lot of their personal favorites just didn't make the cut because there's so many things and only a few jurors.
Yeah, I think we started out with what? Well, we started out with a lot of shorts, and then as the awards progresses, every week or so, Koala will drop in and like, oh hey, added 10 more shorts to the sheet. So you do get to a point where it starts to feel like, okay, why is the number of shorts that I have to watch getting higher, not lower, as we get further into the awards? But I think we topped out at somewhere around like 250.
Oh Lord!
So
And,
you
so-
can do the math.
Considering the gigantic pool that you guys had to deal with, what exactly made Darkroom stand out above the rest of the entries?
So a big part of it was that it combined both audio and visual appeal. A lot of shorts have one element or another that, as was mentioned earlier, they're being experimental with or they're focusing on. And so there'll be a short that you go, wow, that had some really strong visual choices, but almost no OST or sound design or anything like that. And Darkroom is one that put them both together, had very strong vocal performance, especially. And then at the same time, the flowing visuals along with the black and white color palette was easily memorable. And having something striking like that is fairly important when you've only got a few minutes to make your mark, basically.
Yeah, I think for a lot of jurors, Darkroom really it really does come down to that. Darkroom kind of felt like Darkroom. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was unanimous, but I would say it was for a lot of jurors kind of the complete package.
Jaden and Gil, do you agree with this choice? Having seen every short film, would you? Is this what you would also pick as your top?
Well, it's a little. So Jane and I talked about this before, but It's a little difficult considering there's a lot of these list choices are music videos, which doesn't mean that they can't tell a narrative, but it was a little hard for me to kind of like rank them in my mind because part of my sort of my perspective on them would shift from each one. If it was like purely a music video, like how it does music in terms of it being a music video, like how does the audio match the visuals in terms of the tempo of the music, that kind of thing. But then you have something like Streetlight and the Cat, which is just a film. It's just a short film. It's not a music video at all. So there's no emphasis on really the music. It's just like film score. So kind of depends. I think Darkroom was one of the strongest in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I would say probably best music video. My best short film that was a music video that still told a narrative would probably be Floating Girl for me.
What is Floating Girl for those of us who, I mean, those of us, me, for me that doesn't know.
It's the fifth best short of 2023.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, look at that! It's the only one that lines
2022.
up between the public and jury.
Oh yeah, it does. Oh yeah. Well, it's a very sort of abstract narrative that's just constantly like there's effectively this sort of rotation and there's this seamless transitions between these sort of memories of this character kind of rotating. I don't know. I think it's very interesting in terms of it's a narrative, but it matched very well to the tempo of the song.
Yeah,
Like,
and
very well.
the visuals were the visuals are really interesting because it's 3D, but it's cell shaded, and there's
Yeah.
a weird texture effect applied on
Mhm.
everything. So the outlines of everything are really rough and papery, and like they do certain like messing with the frame rate, so it's not 24. It's closer to like on 2s or 3s, like a regular anime would be. The color choice is all really interesting, and it's all basically one. Yeah, like you said, when Gil says rotating, means physically the camera is rotating around the subject, and there never really seems to be like a visible cut with the way that the transitions happen. Yeah. Floating Girl was really good, I'd say. Yeah, Floating Girl and Darkroom's really good too. A lot of these were unfortunately kind of like the idea. There's a lot of experimental, like the visuals, the way they're put together. There's a lot of detail and experimentation and texture, but an unfortunate side effect of that is that most of these are uploaded to YouTube, and the YouTube compression absolutely destroys them.
Yeah.
Oof.
Like Darkroom, I feel so bad. I really want to see the uncompressed export of
Yeah.
Darkroom because I'm sure it looks beautiful, but like, yeah.
Online video encoding is not the place for a Darkroom.
Yeah. No, Darkroom would work amazing at that, like a museum like piece projected onto a wall where you can have like crisp, the actual like high bit rate in terms of everything.
It'd be amazing on a projector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Gil, you mentioned a lot about narrative, right? And this interesting kind of point here, especially with short film, where you have a shorter runtime and you have this more experimental effect. I mean, does something need to have a narrative to be good? Because can something purely exist on a sort of like audio visual spectacle kind of thing and be just as good, if not better, than something with a narrative?
Well, it certainly doesn't need a sort of strong overarching narrative. I think Darkroom is more about visuals and audio than probably the narrative of it. But I think what's interesting to me is like with these choices is there are choices like Streetlight and the Cat or like Diving that are, in my opinion, are much more in terms of film language than like music video.
Yeah, I think it's an apples and oranges.
Yeah, they're both good. Like, there's no reason why they aren't both good. But there's kind of this like perspective. I don't know. I was this kind of perspective issue I was having watching these and kind of lining up together, where I was watching like the Streetlight and the Cat, and I don't know, Plip Plop Step, which in my opinion are kind of night and day, like in terms of how they're presented. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're both good. They're both good at what
great.
they're doing. But like comparing them is difficult because it's like, well, they're doing very different things.
Mm-hmm.
Pip Up Step. This is a aside. I got my graphics card in the middle of the like just when the shortage was just getting better and like things started coming back into stock.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, you weren't sure if it was just like a blip or if that's where the
Oh,
trend was
yeah.
going. So I like overpaid drastically for my graphics card, and it's one of those like really big ones that has a freaking screen on it.
Oh
for-
yeah,
for-
yeah.
Yeah, and for some reason, the first thing I put on there was Pip Up Step because
Aw.
Nice.
so
Can you-
I can look to the
People
right
up
and
cheer
see
you
it.
up, man.
Yeah,
Can your
Pip Up
graphics
cheer you
card
up,
run
yeah.
Doom?
People up stands by you.
and to make a 180, jury members, how did you deal with this sort of problem with trying to compare series that are so different, not only in presentation and style, but also in maybe what their intentions are?
I think that is it's an interesting. It's a question that I think it applies to all of awards, but shorts definitely gets hit by it the hardest, just because it's anything and everything will wind up in the shorts basket.
Mm.
Mm.
So,
Question I had when I'm kind of thinking about this problem was there any consideration, not saying there needed to be, but was there any for in terms of like maybe putting a music video category and then like a short film category? I understand you don't want to like put too many categories, but I wonder like would that be an option?
there has been much complaint in the past. Is my impression that there are a lot of categories already, and
That's
one of
fair.
the problems with adding more categories is that for every extra category, that's about like 5 extra minutes to the live stream,
Yeah.
Yeah, fair
and
enough.
it was getting very long.
Okay, we're getting a little too inside baseball here, but this is even the fact that short film and series are split is already a sort of compromise that we've made because in the
Contention,
past they literally were all
Just
together.
shorts.
So
Right.
not only would you be comparing Darkroom and like the Streetlight and the Cat, you would be comparing it against like Isekai Quartet, and you
Right.
just
I'm a master Ken.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, my first year as a juror, I was in the shorts category when it was unbroken, and that was quite a conundrum to try to figure out how to compare them all to each
Yeah.
other.
I think what you kind of have to do at the end of the day, you kind of have to both weigh like, okay, what is this trying to accomplish? To what degree does it accomplish that? Like, is it doing a good job of what it's trying to do? But then also, like after that, you might have two things that are both doing really well. Like both are absolutely phenomenal at what they're trying to do, and then at that point, it's like, okay, you kind of do have to make kind of a subjective call on what are we going to value here in terms of ambition, and that's a very tough call, and it's going to be a subjective call. So you roll a different jury in there, and you might wind up with a different winner. Because
Well, that's what I was saying. Looking at this, the difference between the jury list and the public list, it's almost reversed in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Kude
kind of
is
fascinating,
exactly
yeah.
reversed. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Darkroom
Road
and
of
Kuroe,
Naruto. Yeah.
I don't recall. I think. Well, the problem with that though is that a lot of the public voters probably haven't necessarily seen Darkroom Kuroe.
Well, yeah, that's the
they
thing,
will
like,
take this
something
opportunity to check them out because they are very good.
Yeah, like looking at the list, all of the ones that are on the public list, all of the ones that are related to a franchise in some way are at the top, and then all of the ones that are standalone work are at the bottom, which just makes a certain amount of sense because shorts are a little more niche and people are more likely to have seen them if they're already part of established franchise.
And it's not completely like mutually exclusive. Like for example, in the jury, there was a fair amount of support for Pip Up Step, even at the nomination stage. So.
And Floating Girl, like we said, is the same on both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just goes to show. I mean, again, short series. There's so many of them. They're so eclectic. You never really know what you're gonna get. So it can be kind of hard to like branch out and watch a short every now and then. So and that's exactly why we have this category in the first place.
I'd say all of them are worth watching. Road of Naruto only if you're a Naruto fan, but
yeah, there's about 2 of these I would have not watched.
yeah.
If I was.
But I mean,
you know,
like Let You Down and
but-
Where the Wind Blows. I mean, they're obviously related to Cyberpunk and One Piece, respectively. But like, they work as short films. I mean, work as music videos, not short films. They work as music videos. You know,
Where
maybe
the
you
Wind
don't have
Was
the
was
full
beautiful, and
Yeah,
I haven't seen that One Piece movie, so
Yeah,
I was a
Now,
little confused what was happening,
yeah. Maybe
but
the
it was
context isn't
beautiful,
gonna-
so I didn't
yeah,
mind.
yeah. Yeah, and who knows? It could eventually be the spark to get someone interested in actually watching like the One Piece movie or getting into One Piece in general. You know, sometimes those little things that you come across, you know,
Yeah.
can be the what sparks the interest in the first place.
Yeah, and I feel like that's really one of the nice things that awards does, especially for like the more niche categories like shorts, is it really does give an opportunity to show to the public, you know, hey, here are some really nice, you know, gems that are not getting the attention they deserve. And you know, this is kind of our chance to say, hey,
Yeah.
go watch Darkroom, go watch Street Like and the Cat.
Yeah.
Now, when we were doing the ED segment, also sorry if you hear battling cats in the background. Okay. Now, when we were filming the ED segment, our guest brought up the fact that every time that they listened to Let You Down, because Let You Down is also an ED for Cyberpunk, they could only think of the music video, and it was kind of a hard disconnect for them because they liked the music video a lot. I wasn't able to go. I haven't been able to see the music video yet. I just haven't got around to it. Does it capture the themes of Cyberpunk well? Is it like, does it feel cyberpunk to you?
Well, I have not seen Cyberpunk.
I haven't seen Cyberpunk either.
I've only seen the music
have
video.
not seen Cyberpunk. Mojave,
Okay, I'll cover
I'm-
it then.
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So the big thing with it is a large part of the music video has overlap with not all of the main cast, but much of it.
hmm It does, yeah, that's one thing I did know. Yeah.
I did notice that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the other thing is that the music video is also it was included in the series. So I had already seen it before I saw it by itself, but it was a different
And
experience.
the whole thing is in the show, or is it like a similar event within the show?
I'm pretty sure they used it as the actual ED in one of the episodes.
Oh, so just as an ED.
Did I just get spoiled for Cyberpunk? Shame. Oh well. Anyway, I kid. So that okay. I actually didn't know that.
But yeah, it was
I'm
definitely
real. I didn't get a lot from Let You Down, personally, but I think part of that was I just haven't seen the show. You know.
Okay, this last question is just kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a quirky question, but I hope you'll see where I'm coming from.
We love quirky questions.
The rise of VTuber popularity has exploded in recent years. I was so surprised to find out that even like Corona started in like freaking like 2019 or something.
Yeah.
Like I always thought she was like
All recent, yeah.
kind of an
Yeah.
old head. Yeah.
That cannot
So-
be right now.
And so
It's gonna make me feel old.
thinking about this, we're starting to see a lot of influx of these kind of VTuber music videos. So we have like Pekko Random Brain, which I think was last year. Now this year we have a lot of Marin series. You know, I'm looking at the nominations actually, and the public fifth most popular vote was Marine Set Sail, which is the other Marine
Yeah.
MV. So you know, what do you think about this kind of like rise of VTubers? And is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What do you think?
Personally,
really know
I
if
don't. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily a bad or a good thing. I think it's just kind
Yeah,
of neutral,
yeah.
you know.
It's just a thing. It's just another aspect to it. I will say that so the Martin video in this one, most of the Martin's videos in general, like but this one in particular, Treasure Box, I think is an appropriate addition to the thing. It's like a genuine music video. The animation is incredible. A lot of other VTuber music videos feel less like an anime music video, and they feel more like a lyric video or a motion graphics video, you know?
Yeah.
Because most of them, not to say that those are bad, or anything, but most of them will feature maybe like one or two key graphics, one or two key drawings that have things like the hair will be animated, the clothing will be animated, to give it a bit of a sense of life and blinking. And then the rest is all done in like After Effects, like motion graphics, and yeah, the lyrics are the more key part. And the more important thing is meeting the deadline of releasing the music, right? No, the release of the single on whatever platforms it might be released. And so speed is of the issue, and so they're usually made with fewer resources. But Martine seems to, I don't know if she or her people approach them or if she's approached by, but she just seems to get like these incredible like animators attached to her projects.
Yeah, not to put down like other
No,
YouTubers,
no.
but modding music videos blow everything out of the water from my perspective.
Like,
Yeah, I
what's the one
guess
she did the other year?
The glitch
What's
one,
the-
the glitchy one.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name.
We had Unison as a finalist.
Unison,
last
That's
year.
it. Yeah, Unison. Yeah, that one was great. Yeah,
Unison went really hard. in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Also, I think Treasure Box did too.
And Treasure Box did too. Yeah.
I mean, Treasure
Oh.
Box, it spawned like a whole TikTok dance, which
Yeah.
I didn't know was a TikTok.
Oh, did
There's
it?
so many things about VTubers that end up being like spawned from VTubers. I like the Subaru's duck being a duck,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that,
like,
that
there's
duck
a
animation
lot
got
of features.
viral. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my initial reasoning with the question was that do they have kind of like an unfair advantage because they kind of have their whole like the whole point of a VTuber is to be likable and have a large audience, right? But it seems like despite that, the quality of the product is still quite high.
I don't think it's necessarily an unfair advantage. I think if you say that VTubers have an unfair advantage when it comes to things like that, then Piplup, Step, and Road of Naruto and Where the Wind Blows have an unfair advantage due to being attached to some of the biggest media franchises of all time.
Pokemon being the largest.
Yeah, Pokemon being the largest, right?
Yeah.
And they will, so I don't think it's necessarily an unfair advantage. At the very least, it's not a new unfair advantage. It's just kind of the nature of things that something adjacent that is popular and then also happens to have like an animated component. It's going to have more visibility and people voting for it than something that is an original work.
I
It's
mean,
unfortunate, but it's just
yeah.
that's just the way the dice rolls, and this is just like a new challenger,
So
that makes
the
sense.
short films Diving and The Streetlight and the Cat are both from, I don't remember which university, but a university, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see similar things with like Gaidai Animation, which is another university in Tokyo, have a lot of their graduate project short films get put onto the YouTube channel, right? And you watch the short film that's animated. Those are never going to get the same amount of support as like Road of Naruto, right?
Yeah.
or Let You Down, or yada yada, right? So it's just kind of how the wind blows.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And it's also like even when you think about it, even Darkroom and Kude and stuff, they are from bands, They are music. They are animated music videos set to songs from bands to promote the singles, right? To promote the songs and to promote the band. I think a lot of the time, no matter the way you slice it, it's especially in the world of anime, is rarely just completely original things are rare. There's usually some other media property attached to it. It's like the media mix, right? I just think VTubers are a very modern and current attachment.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you for illuminating that.
I mean, it's not it's not surprise, right? The top 4 for the public are all things that are attached to product and media franchises, right?
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, Naruto, Moddings, which is Hololive, as well as and then Piplup Step, which is Pokemon, right?
Pokemon, yeah.
I'm honestly surprised Floating Girl makes it out over where
I was
Where the Wind
surprised.
Blows for
I
them.
was
I
too,
was surprised by
yeah.
that. I thought Where the Wind Blows would have been in one of the
Naya,
top
yeah.
because
Yeah.
One Piece, right?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
impression of Floating Girl
Naya
was
is
that
huge
it was
too. Yeah,
it was relatively obscure. So
Yeah.
yeah. It didn't have. I mean, I still don't think it has a lot of views on YouTube.
All right, Mojave and Anas, is there anything that we might have left out that you would like to bring up or talk about in regards to the jury process or how you arrived at these rankings?
Just to give a quick shout out to a couple of our shorts that did make it. We had 1000 Menkai Hagnanda and Kumuro Kumo Rizora no Muka wa Hareteru. I'd give you the English titles, but I don't know them. And I probably absolutely massacred the Japanese titles. But those were two kind of similar themed shorts. I think particularly 1000 Mankai had really strong sound direction and the way that was interweaved into visuals. It's one of the things where the sound stands out really strong. I think for some of the jury the rest didn't hold up, but like, you know, and there was a very nice narrative interwoven there. And that's just to say, like, there were so many other shorts that couldn't make the cut. So again, just to circle back to our original point, if your favorite short of this year is not on this list, that's not because we hated it and we hate you personally. There were just so many good shorts this year. You
gotta think, like, a short film and music video is one of the most realistic things someone could achieve with animation, right? Like, to get TV show, there's only so many production committees, there's only so many studios that can animate a full TV show or movie or whatever, but like music videos, shorts, can realistically, be produced by one person, so there's just a whole sea of them in comparison to everything else.
Right, which is one of the things I love about this is that we have the opportunity to kind of shine a light on, you know, more independent productions. And I think that's a really nice opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.